So we're going to start with problem number 2, and we have to write this using an exponent. So we are going to take 9 times 9 times 9 times 9 times 9 times 9 and write it as an exponent. So we would write it as 9 to the 6th power. Equation or expression number 3, we have to find the value. So we would not start with the here because it's not in the order of operations. So we start with the 4 times 5, which equals 20. And then we would add 5 to it. So then 5 plus 20 equals 25. Minus 7 equals 18. Now for problem number 4, we're going to start with our order of operations again and use start in the parentheses. But first, before we do the addition, we're going to do the exponent. So 3 to the 3rd power equals 27. And after that, we will add 2 to it to make 29. And then we start working, do multiplication next. So 29 times 8 equals 216. So 29 times 8 equals 216. And then minus 11 equals 221. Problem number 5, the same thing. We start with that exponents. So 2 times 2 equals 4, times 2 equals 8. So we have 8. And then since we have multiplication and division, we start working left to right. So 55 divided by 5 equals 11. 11 times 8 equals 88. And then we divide it by 4. We divide it by 4, which equals 22. Now for number 6, we have to write an expression and find the total cost of the tools. So first, we would start by writing our expression. So we would write, so in parentheses, we're going to start by 4 times 11.79. And then since we're combining the tools, we're going to do plus, and then in the other parentheses, 7 times 665. And then don't forget your other bracket. And then now it's time to solve. So for this first parentheses, 4 times 11.79, that equals 47.16. And then the second parentheses was 7 times 665, that equals $46.55. Combined, they equal $93.71 for all the tools. So now for number 7, we are filling in the numbers that are up here with the numbers that are in the expressions. So 2a, a is equal to 3, plus 5 equals blank. So first we do 2 times 3 because we have 2a. So So 2 times 3 equals 6. So then 6 plus 5 equals 11. So 11 is our answer for expression number 7. For expression number 8, we're filling in 2 times, and up here it says 6. So 6 plus 3 times a, and a is equal to 3. So then 2 times 6 equals 12, plus 3 times 3 equals 9. So 12 plus 9 is equal to 21. So 21 would be our answer for number 8. So now with writing the phrases for algebraic expressions, down here we have 16 seconds faster than Najib's time. So for this, I'm going to use n for my variable. So we have n, and then minus because the time is 16 seconds faster. So if it was slower, then it would be addition, but since it's faster, she did it in 16 seconds fewer than the other person's time, or than Najib's time. So it'd be n minus 16. Again, minus because it's faster, so they did it in 16 seconds faster than Najib's time. So number 11, 1 piece more than 2 twice the number of pieces. So I'm going to use p for my variable for pieces. So then, since it's twice the number of pieces, I'm going to do 2p, because twice the number of pieces, and then 1 piece more. So I'm going to add 1 more piece, because it's 1 piece more than 2 times the number of pieces.
All right, looking at number 13, we're going to say if it is equal or not, and then if it is equal, what property is applied. So looking at 13, we have 8 times 2 in parentheses times 5 equals 8 times 2 times 5 in parentheses. So we can solve it to see if they are equal. So 8 times 2, we have 16. 16 times 5 is then 80. So we have 80 for right here equals 2 times 5 is 10 times 8 equals 80. So these two equations are equal. And the property that we used was the associative property. Okay, now we're going to look at number 14. We have 13 plus 0 and 13. Are those two equations equal? They are equal. And the property that we used was the identity property, because we have 13 plus 0. So we're just adding 0 on to the identity of 13 already. Looking at 15, we have 12 minus 5 minus 3 in parentheses, and 12 minus 5 in parentheses minus 3. So we're going to look at if these two are equivalent. First, we're going to solve for our exponents first. So we have 5 minus 3 is 2, and then 12 minus 2 is 10. So this side of the equation is 10, and then we'll look at the other one. 12 minus 5 first, because it's in parentheses, which is 7. 7 minus 3 is 4. Are 10 and 4 equal? No, not equal. So we use no specific property for that. All right, now we're going to look at number 16. We have 5, and then in parentheses, x plus 9. So our first step is multiplying our 5 to the first number or variable in the parentheses, which is x. So we have 5x. we're going to carry our addition symbol down and then add in the 5 times 9, which is 45. We can't solve for x, so we're just going to leave it at 5x plus 45. Our next problem, we're going to solve the same way. So we're going to take the variable on the outside of the parentheses and multiply it by our first variable inside the parentheses. So we have then 9v. Carry our symbol down, plus, and then we have to multiply the number on the outside of the parentheses by our second variable being 2, so 9 times 2 is 18. So we are left with 9v plus 18. In our third distributive property problem, 7 times b plus 3.5. Just like the previous two, we start with 7 and multiply it by our first variable being b. So we are left with 7b, carry our symbol down, plus, and then 7 times 3.5 being 24.5. So now we are left with 7b plus 24.5 as our final answer. Okay, for number 19, we are going to simplify each expression. So for this one, we're just going to be combining our like terms because there's no other numbers in there. So we have 7x, 3x, and 4x, all addition problems. So we'll start by adding 7x plus 3x is 10x, and 10x plus 4x is then 14x as our final answer. And then 20, just like we did for 16, 17, and 18, we're going to be using the distributive property. So 5 times 2x gives us 10x. Carry our symbol down. And 5 times 4y gives us 20y, being our final answer. Now for 21, just like in 19, we're going to combine our like terms. So 2y stands alone, so we can leave it by itself. 2y plus, and then we're going to combine our 6x and our 9x, which then becomes 15x. 2y plus 15x is then our final answer. All right, 22, we are going to start factoring 9x plus 36y. So our first step is looking for our greatest common factor that fits into both 9 and 36. We have a couple that we could use, being 3 or 9, but since 9 is our bigger number, we want to take that one out. So we're going to remove our 9 to the outside of our parentheses, and then we're going to add our x, carry our symbol down, and we took 9 out of 36. So to find the number that goes in the parentheses, we'd have to divide 36 by 9. 36 divided by 9 is 4. So we are left with 4y. Then if you were to reverse it and use the distributive property, you would end up with 9x plus 36y. For 23, just like we did for 22, we're going to look for our greatest factor that goes into both 12 and 18. Just like for 22, we could use 3, but we could also use 6 because 6 is bigger than 3 and it goes into both numbers, so we'd want to use that one. So we're going to take our 6 out, and then if we remove a 6 from 12, we're left with 2x, and then if we divide 18 by 6, we are left with 3y. So our final answer is 6 multiplied by 2x plus 3y. Then if you were to use the distributive property to rewrite it, then you would end up with 12x plus 18y, just like we started with.